So this is Details. It's a Revit plugin with three main parts. Link Manager, which controls which details come into your library. Sheet Manager, which controls how details come out of your library. And Your Library is your detail repository that allows you to quickly search, organize, import, and place details in one window without leaving your Revit project. So let me show you the architecture of what you're about to see. Details builds a library of thumbnails and titles with links to your existing projects within the firm. When you select a thumbnail, Details actually works behind the scenes to pull in the actual asset from the container model or a past project that you've linked and place it onto a sheet for you. When you connect projects to Details, you are not storing any detail files. You're storing thumbnail images and associated text like titles, disciplines. That keeps your data in-house and makes load time extremely fast. A shared library means everyone stays up to date on details changing as well. When one user in a firm updates a detail in the container model, they can simply resync the project, and because the data is so lightweight and shared across the firm, the sync only takes seconds and propagates immediately to everyone's new library, keeping everyone on the same page. Our design principle is that the library is the living thing, so it will automatically update any changes to the assets connected to it. Details is designed so that users can stay within Revit to share and receive details. It was important to keep all functions in Revit. That's why we made sure the user could find and share a detail from either Revit or the firm's online library. This works with the firm's in-house server, BIM 360 and Forma, and models saved in SharePoint. By keeping relevant information in the cloud, we can connect your firm to smart tools to make relevant recommendations. Both the Revit plugin and the website have an AI search function. The Revit plugin also reads what's in the user's projects to recommend details from the library. Now let me give you a live demo to show you the advantages. Click on the details icon, and my entire details library shows up. That's all 316 details that I have connected to my library. I can scroll through and view all of these. They're all automatically organized by the Revit projects that they're connected to, as well as what discipline they're associated with. Now you'll notice here in the top that there's also a Sheets tab. This is for if your BIM team has detail sheets as a part of their container model. You can also create your own tabs. Say you needed a specific tab for only heat recovery units. Then you can add all of your heat recovery unit details into that tab. So let's say I wanted to import all of these details into my project, but I didn't want to, just import them to get lost into the project. I wanted them to all show up on a sheet at once. All I would do is select all and then import to new sheet. And what this is doing is it's actually collecting all of the details that are part of this selection and organizing them onto a sheet with specific spacing requirements that you can set in the Details plugin. So it's assembling all of these details and it's removing the titles if that's what you asked for. It's keeping the titles if that's what you asked for. It's making sure that the smallest details also fitting onto the sheet. And it takes about 20 seconds. And once you're done, this is what the sheet looks like. Let's say I want to add 20 more details to my detail library. How would I do that? So what I would do is click the link icon, and what you'll see in Link Manager is that there are two sections. One is your projects, and this is, okay, say you have 20 details from a past project that you know are good and proven details, and you're just trying to connect to them directly instead of waiting for a BIM team to upload them to some container model. Then you can connect directly to that project, and it automatically pulls in all those details straight into your library. The other section is for container models. So this is where you'd be connecting to those huge 300 detail repositories that you have at the firm. Both are easily accessible, but let's say I wanted to add a project. So I'm going to add Revit 25.5 here, which has a few details that I'm looking for right now. So what I would do is sync the project, and what it's doing now is it's uploading all of those thumbnail images and titles and metadata of those details. So this found 11 details and uploaded them to the cloud. So now that I'm synced, I can go back to my library. And what you'll notice is immediately you'll see them in your library here, organized in by basically what the most important details are. But if you wanted to specifically go into that this project to look for all those details, you can do that by just clicking this. And now you have all of these details available for pulling in. So you'll notice when I click on any of these details here, a share button pops up. If I click on this, you can see that I have a list of everyone in the firm. If I click on this person, let's say I share two details based on a heat recovery unit to a teammate who is working on the same project as I am. I can add a message and then click send. And what this does is it actually sends those two thumbnail images and the links on how to get them directly to this user's plugin. So they can then open up the plugin and see from the received shares which details to import. So this is the two details that I just sent to Max. I can click on both here and then add them. Let's say I'm Max, I can add them directly to the sheet that we are both working on. So here they are. Now, let's say we're nearing the end of the project, and I want to make sure that all the details that are necessary for the project are in. How can I do that? Well, one of the ways is we can use Rex, which is the AI tool that was built within Details to cross-check any families within the project and details in your model. So I'm going to go over and head to the mechanical plans, and you can see that we have this heat recovery unit box here and here. All I'll do is I'll click Rex. And what it does is it opens up your library, checks the content inside of those thumbnails. So it actually reads the images, not just the titles. And then it will recommend 40 details that it thinks I should use. So as you can see, I did miss a couple details here for a heat recovery unit, but it also found two diffuser section details as well. And that what that is that's from those grills that were in the floor plan. And then it has coil details for a heat recovery unit and commonly used details as well from the firm. So this is a really good last minute check tool, or for the opposite side, it's a really good tool for getting the initial detail sheets set up. Let's say you want them 80% of the way through. You can just use details to get those recommendations that you're looking for instead of having to search for every single detail by itself. Now let me pull in these two heat recovery unit details. Let me just add that to a new sheet. So here they are. And if at any point you're looking for a new project or you just want to see the full scope of what everyone has synced in your firm's library, you can always just go to the online portal, and that's accessible from here. So the search firm library. So let's go to the details tab. You can see the entire detail catalog is here. And what you also get is an AI search feature on the website itself. So you actually don't have to use Revit to kind of create these folders for your Revit project. Let's say you're a PM or a BIM manager who's helping on a project, but you don't have access to the Revit project. You can always build these sheets or folders within the website and then send them directly to a user who is on Revit. Let's say I'm looking to share details and I want to find all of the relevant details for this heat recovery unit, specifically with wiring, because I know I don't have those details in my project. So it'll give me the most relevant heat recovery unit details first. So these two look to be the most relevant. What I'll do is I'll just add that to a folder or share it. For this example, I'm just going to share it with that Max example, and he can quickly import it back into the project. But also I can create a folder. So I want to quickly show you that you can use AI mode for two different things. One is the search, but the other is creation. So let's say I want to create a heat recovery unit folder, and this will house all of my recovery unit. wiring, electrical heat recovery unit details. All I'll do is, so first it gives me the summary of all the details, and this looks to have all the necessary details. And now I'll just click create, and there we have it. It creates a title for you and all of the relevant details. And you actually can share this entire folder instead of just a few details. Let's quickly leave the website and wrap up the demo. So I've shown you how details can quickly find and place details onto a sheet. And I just want to say, this came from how do we speed up the workflow, not how do we change it. This is truly a Revit plugin to the core. I think, we made sure that all the functions that were accessible on the website were, you know, easily done on the Revit plugin as well. So you never want to have two separate competing softwares, especially for an engineer. It just makes an engineer's life extremely difficult. So, the folders storage system it's accessible in the Revit plugin as well. You can share all the folders as well. The whole point of this is, I started at what is the engineer's workflow? And I was an engineer for 3 years, so I had a good idea of where I wanted to start and what I wanted to optimize for. And I think the two most important things you can optimize for are the display, so that's the search and visualization of all of the details in your library, and then the share function as well, because sharing details is crucial for PMs to communicate to engineers or senior engineers to communicate with junior engineers specifically. So we wanted to make that as easy as possible and as fast as possible when you're using this plugin. That's it for today. I really appreciate all of your guys' time. Thank you so much. I hope you get a chance to try this. I'm really excited about it. Thank you so much for joining today.